Yes, hello dear friends. I'm Richard, your brother in Christ, and welcome to this daily brief gospel reflection. And today the question that I'd like to pose is that why do we need to worry our worries? Yes, and that's the question because in the gospel today taken from Mark 8 verses 14 to 21, wherein the apostles were a bit worried of having only bread and maybe it will not be enough for them, but they forgot that Jesus had made a miracle of feeding more than 5,000 people, and wherein there were fragments left that they picked up after feeding after that miracle. And I remember when I was still young, we stayed in a farm, but it was really had in a way poverty though, wherein on our viand was salt. Yes, and we call it as a variant of tuldok o pindot o kaya point. Wherein all we have to do is to have to dig point is in the salt and then have it in our mouth and have the rice and you have the flavor already and it will become already salty and that's a good viand. But before that, we are a bit worried of not having any viand. But there's salt, and at the end of our meal is that we're still happy because our stomach are filled. And in the same way for us is that why do we need to worry our worries? Because we know that our worries will become us. Our worries will become big. And sometimes these are just actually small things that even as we become worryful about this, we become anxious about towards this, then these small things become big things. And the difficulty is that how can we make these big things become smaller? And sometimes if we are so bounded with our worries, it becomes our world and we couldn't even think properly, just like what happened to the apostles today. And couldn't even understand what the Lord have shown to them. And in the same way for all of us, the Lord have shown us so much things to be grateful about and to be thankful about. And with that itself, it always remind us that, well, why should I be worrying? Why should I worry when I know that the Lord will continue to provide what I need? And so today, dear friends, if we are worried about something, I ask you, I invite you, I encourage you to offer it to the Lord. You know that the Lord has everything. He will provide whatever you need. Just offer it to Him, and for sure He will grant it. And don't not be worried about. Don't be worryful too much, because you might be eaten by your worry. That's why you need to worry your worries. And so I guess that's the main point, dear friends. And always remember that you are blessed and such blessings are not meant for us to keep, but for us to share to others. May you have a greater day ahead of you. God bless. Adios.